Hey guys, in this video, we're going through the Hunted challenge from the C# 12 expansion. Um, this one deals with arrays and the spread operator, and that's kind of the main point here. So our goal here is we're going to create an array, and then we're going to just do some basic manipulations with it using the operators that we learned about here. And this sample right here is perhaps like the most important example of it. A good example of how to use the spread operator. And collection expressions. So I'm going to scoot this off the screen here. So I can also see it, but you guys won't, but you'll be able to see my code. So I'm just going to work through these objectives one at a time. Again, I'm not, like, this isn't pre-scripted other than, I wrote the challenge, so I know what it does. But there's a lot of ways you can solve these, as always. All right, so I'm just going to start with the first objective. Create a program that makes an array containing a sequence of numbers 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. You must use a collection expression as shown above. Store this in a variable. So, all right, this is going to be an int array. Let's call it numbers, because there's not a better reason to do it. And so, like, traditionally, we do new int, and let's see, there's 6 numbers here, like a lottery number. 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. However, that is not what the book asked for, what the thing said. It said that you must use a collection expression. So that's a new C# 12 feature. And to do that, we are going to just rewrite this like that. There we go. So that's a collection expression. So now we've accomplished the first thing, and we've gotten some actual use with this new syntax, which I gotta say, I really love this. This is such a cool feature. This is one of those things where, like, I've looked at, say, Python and been like, man, Python has such clean syntax for certain things that C# doesn't have. Over the years, C#'s added a lot of that. The syntax for C# has evolved a lot over time. And that's been really fun to see. This is one of those things that it's a nice improvement on the syntax. I don't have to say new int brackets curly braces. Like, I can just get away with this really simple syntax. So I love this feature. It's a fun one. All right, now within a while true or another infinite loop construct, display only the first number in the array. All right, so while true, oops, got an extra. While true, console.write line numbers index 0. That's what it says, right? Only the first number. So there I've accomplished the second objective. Oh, and it actually even gave me that code, console.write line numbers index 0. All right, third objective. Also within the loop, create a new array. I'm reading this and I think I'm going to go tweak this. Create a new array that builds a new array value, moving the first item in the array. I'm going to see if I can tweak that before making the official release for the book. That phrasing is just a little bit weird. I can show it to you here, but hopefully your version looks slightly cleaner. Create a new array that builds a new array value. The intent here is we're going to allocate a new array, right? But what we're going to do is the goal is to move the first item to the very end. Now, the poor man's version of this would be something like int copy equals new int numbers.length, and then do something like for int I equals 0, I is less than numbers.length -1, I plus, and then do something like copy at index I equals numbers at index I +1, and then at the end of this, you copy at index copy dot. Well, we could just do that at the last index equals numbers index 0, right? Like, if that is your solution to it, if you just use like a for loop or something, that definitely works. And this should solve the problem. In fact, I can run this now, I think. Turns out there's only 3 objectives next. The last one's a node, which is what I'll get back to in a second. So if I run this now, we should see this. Oh, I'm wrong. It's just 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Oh yeah, okay. I'm missing one thing. Everything's right except for one thing. I made the copy, and now I just need to update numbers with the copy, and that should be enough. Let's try that again. Yeah, there we go. So 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. Perfect. Anyway, so this is like the poor man's version of it. We now have a new, that spread operator can make this really simple. What we can do, it just takes a little bit of brain power, and this isn't the easiest thing to sort through. So what we want to do is we can make a new array, and we can do something like this. So what we want to do is unpack numbers. I'm going to do this, and it's going to be a little wrong. So this will it spreads the current values into numbers into this array, and then it takes the first item and puts it at the end. So this will actually keep creating new arrays, but tacking on that 4 over and over and over again. So like at the beginning, we'll start with numbers equals 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. And then right here, it ends up being 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42, 4. And then the next time through the loop, it's 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42, 4, 4. So we just, like, we're not getting rid of the first one, and we need to do that. And we can do that with, as that note says, we can get away with using the range operator, which is in the book. And so if we do 1 ... this says, give me that slice of the array from 1 onward, and then this will unpack it. So it's kind of interesting how that works. Like I don't know, like this this is just kind of throwing together a number of different features to achieve this, and I think like it's relatively elegant code, other than like it takes some brain power to understand, to like be able to write it. And then the other downside here is this, that like the mental power to, like, if you had written this code 10 years ago and came back to look at it, you might look at this and say, what is happening here? What does this do? You have to think about it. So perhaps this is a good place for a comment. You know, so adding in a comment can help sort of describe what's going on. Let's run that and make sure that it's still doing what we want. 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. It does look like it's still doing what we want. I'm going to also set a breakpoint in here and just make sure that our numbers, yeah, it still has. Coincidentally, let me run that through one more time. Okay, yeah, that looks like it's working. I don't know how you can see that through the video, but I'm pushing continue here to run through, to let it resume, but then of course it hits, so it runs through one loop of this because I got that breakpoint set in here. And so each time we can see it wrapping around to the next item. Anyway, like I said, this code is nice and short, which I like. It makes good use of like the collection expression. It makes good use of the spread operator. It makes good use of the indexing operator. But it is quite a bit all in one line. So depending on how familiar your audience is with this type of stuff, maybe the for loop that I had in there originally is, more easier to understand, and easy to understand code is definitely valuable. Anyway, so if you couldn't leverage the note that's in the challenge to write code like this, don't feel bad about that. Like if you just did a for loop, it's totally fine. Like I said, that solves the problem. The main thing here is what we're hoping to achieve is some usage of like these features. You will use this feature, I think, all the time. Like I don't know why you'd make arrays the other way unless, I don't know, some sort of inference thing or something like that. Like for example, if you do var, like it's going to just pick a type for this. Oh wait, maybe it doesn't even do that. because it doesn't know what to infer. But yeah, like I said, this syntax is so convenient. I feel like this is going to replace like 95% of the cases. People will be doing this in the future rather than the old school, new int, square brackets, curly braces. Like I think that'll be more or less a thing of the past. These operators here are they are certainly interesting and useful, but this is the most important one to have learned. These are useful, super useful, honestly. Like you'll put them to good use if you know them, but they are definitely a step down versus this, I think. Of course, that's just my opinion now with not having used the features much because these are new features. But so I might feel dumb for saying all that in a year or two, but yeah, that's my take on that right now. Anyway, it's a fun feature. And I think, let's see, let me just make sure. Yeah, so the last item in the objectives is just a note that describes this. So I think that's it for this challenge. It doesn't take much. That's everything. So thanks for joining me. I'll see you in the next video.